Welcome to Humber College, the Hawk's Nest. Tonight we've got some very exciting action, volleyball action between Humber College and Redeemer College. I'm Jacob McCourt, and to my right, Michael Seff. Michael, howdy.
Jacob, happy birthday.
Thank you so much. A year older, hopefully a year wiser. Yes. Humber College was busy over the weekend. They were down in Windsor playing St. Clair College. And to give you more information about that game, we've got our sideline reporter, Danielle Dupuis. Danielle?
Thanks, guys. So a little bit of a recap from the Saturday's game. The Humber Hawks played St. Clair's. Now, St. Clair ended up taking the first set, but we came back strong, making it 3-1. Now, a little bit of a history for the background of how many sets we've lost this season. In total, this whole entire season, we've only lost 3, which is unbelievable. It just shows how hard the girls have been working, the dedication they're putting behind everything. I mean, kudos to you girls. You're doing phenomenal. So for more information on the game, here's back to you guys, our sideline report, back to you guys, our commentators. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Phenomenal indeed. The Humber Hawks women are undefeated. They're first in the West. But Redeemer's not a team that we need to discount. They are 6-8, but they're 6th in the West, and they're trying to cling to a playoff spot. Michael, what's been going on with Humber in the last few games?
Well, you got to love that they have a nice goose egg in the loss column, as you see, 14-0. And Danielle alluded to it. What a great season they've had, and yet they found themselves in a very unfamiliar position last game, being down 1-0. But good to know that even in the face of adversity, that they can continue to play well. They came back and won the next 3 games and won that set. And just individually, some of the players have had phenomenal years, and just a tremendous amount of depth on the Humber roster. Things are going pretty well for the Hawks right now. 22-0 all-time in their history against Redeemer.
And, you know, not a team that's just about players, but also coaching, right?
Yes, coaching. How about trying to make some history? Chris Wilkins, he is 3rd all-time in Hawks coaching wins with 309. But guess what? He's not even first in his own family. He is 3 wins behind his brother Wayne, and he is 9 behind the all-time overall leader, Mike Katz. So Chris Wilkins chasing history.
I guess a little sibling rivalry sometimes goes
Always
a
a good
long way. Now we've got 2 stars that we want to talk about, Golding and O'Connor for the Humber Hawks.
Yes, 2 tremendous players and having 2 tremendous years. And you mentioned O'Connor. She had a terrific month of December, 5.4 points per set. Not quite as high a level in January, but still had an excellent month with 3.3 points per set. So she's somebody that the Hawks are going to look to help carry this team. And Brianna Golding, tremendous season as well. You see the stats, blocks, anything that this team needs, she's been able to provide them.
And just amazing as a freshman for the team as well.
Yes.
Redeemer, you know, they're not a team that, you know, we need to play lightly. They won their last game against Boreal College on Saturday, 3-0. They're a team that's great at blocking, great at serving, and those blocks come from 2 spots. First off, Rebecca Oosterhoff, if she does play, she did not play over the weekend, but watch for her if she does play. She's 3rd in the league for blocks. She averages almost a block per set, so someone to watch. Additionally, Charlene DeVries, number 12. She averages almost 4 points per set. That's almost as much as the 2-star players for Humber, Golding and O'Connor. In addition, she's 5th in the league for blocks, so someone that they'll have to watch as well. We'll be picking it up after a quick break. We'll be back in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nest here at the Humber Athletic Center as we contend this regular season match between the Redeemer Royals and your Humber Hawks. I'll now ask you all to please stand. Gentlemen, remove your hats. Don't mind me. Smile away.
And we're back. We've got the full women's roster up here for you. We're just waiting now for player introductions. As we mentioned, here's the Humber roster. We'll show you the Redeemer roster in a minute, but we will leave you now with the player introductions before we get started in this game.
Introducer Humber Hawks, former in-game announcer, Ari Zenars. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starters for your Humber Hawks. Left side, number 12, David O'Connor. Left side, number 11, Brandon Cool. Your middle, number 13, Allie Newman. Your middle, number 9, Elizabeth Deacon Booth. Your right side, number 10, Brianna Golding. Your center, number 1, Gabby Blackton. And your libero, number 6, Ashley Dara. Head coach of the Hawks is Chris Wilkins. Assistant coaches Dean Wildman Wiley, Taylor Hutchison, Manny Gorse, and Rachel Dole.
And we're back. Just one interesting point to point out here. Ashley Dara, the libero, starting out. Usually Kyla Wilkins playing libero. She's not starting this game. We'll continue to monitor that situation throughout the game.
Could be an interesting development.
Additionally, we mentioned it off the top, Rebecca Oosterhoff is one of the 2 players to watch on the Redeemer side. She is in the lineup tonight and playing in this first set, so watch for her. 3rd in the league for blocks.
Yeah, you mentioned she missed the last game, so big for her to get back into this lineup with this Redeemer team looking to clinch a playoff berth.
Absolutely, and starting off, we've got number 8, Erin Lowen. Redeemer serve. A bit of a running serve there. That's Militic going across to O'Connor, who had to make a save there. A bit of a free ball put over by Redeemer. There's O'Connor with a great dig by Redeemer. Golding, Militic, great recovery there by Humber. Golding puts it over again. The libero for Redeemer grabs it, and that's a big swing by Charlene DeVries. First point for Redeemer.
And that was a big dig there by Kirsten Klompmaker. Excellent play to keep that point alive.
And we'll get serve number 2 now by Erin Lowen. She's a 5'8" left side from Lethbridge, Alberta. And watch the run from her. And the float, that's in. Great serve by Redeemer. Militek, a great pokey there by Deacon Poot. First point for Humber.
And then Deacon Poot coming off a tremendous game in that last matchup over the weekend against St. Clair, when she had 11 points. So off to a good start here this evening.
Gabby Militek now with her first serve. 1 serving 1. And here's the serve from her, a great float. Going to libero, that's mishandled there by Klompmaker.
Well, getting that first point was Redeemer, but coming right back as they did last game.
Gabby Militek from Windsor. She was in her hometown over the weekend against St. Clair College. Here's her second serve. The libero grabs it again. That one is better. Great put over by Neiman. Militek to O'Connor, and she's blocked. Great dig there to recover. That's number 11, Coleman putting it over. Set by Neiman, across to number 12, DeVries. We told you to watch out for her. This will be number 11, Coleman putting it over. And the dig, she can't get low enough. That's Neiman.
Well, right place, right time there, and a good job as well in the middle of that play for the Hawks by, as you said, Ashley Derrick, who's stepping in for Kyla Wilkins this evening.
I believe it may be her first game where she's starting at libero all season, if not one of the few that she's started. So great to see Ashley out there. Number 12, DeVries, putting it into a block by Humber. She'll try again. A great pokey there. She'll try one more time, and that goes off the hand of Deacon Poot, and out point for Redeemer.
Not a lot Deacon Poot could do right there. Got herself in good position, but sometimes when it's just you against a couple of players, that's a tough call.
Absolutely. You see Allie Newman sometimes pokey over blocks, but in that case, those blocks were right up. Not much she could do. Service by Redeemer. That's Oosterhoff. That ball goes out.
And you take the points any way you can get them. Unforced errors from the other side.
Devin O'Connor now, averaging 4 points per game. She serves. That's a great service set by Neiman. DeVries had to back up a little bit. Dara, Militek, and that one is a great point by Deacon Poot.
And coming right back after she was unable to do a lot on that previous play, coming right back and finding the open space on the floor.
And Chris Wilkins from the sideline giving his players the A-OK, the thumbs up, so a great sign. 5 serving 2 as O'Connor serves it into the net.
Just coming up a little bit short there. But Humber, you know, this is a team that doesn't panic. That's why they are where they are. Continue to win games. They continue to stay mentally tough.
And that's what's going to separate them from the pack, especially in the playoffs. Service by Redeemer. That's Neiman. Militek with the set. It's a back set, a little too far for Golding, and that'll be a point for Humber as the ball goes off a Redeemer player.
Tremendous power by Brianna Golding. You see the force with which she delivered that ball. Really no chance for anybody to be able to return that.
Absolutely. Now to the back line, Deacon Poot with her first service this game. 6 serving 3. She'll serve from the left side. Great service there, and that's too far for DeVries, who puts that ball up. The libero tries. She can't get there.
And Deacon Poot, as we said, coming off a big game, 11 points over the weekend against St. Clair. Right back at it here this evening, Jacob.
Absolutely, and in that game, 9 kills, 1 service ace, 1 block, and showing us there why her serves are so good.
Tremendous all-around game.
Ball on Humber side, Militek with a set, and the referee is calling point for Redeemer off what appears to be. I didn't see what happened on that one.
I don't know if there was contact with the net, not sure if that's what they saw.
But either way, Redeemer point. Charlene DeVries now at the line. DeVries floats one. Bit of miscommunication there almost. And that'll be number 11 putting that one into the net. That's Coleman. Great tip there by number 13, Nustra. Point for Humber.
And that's really a credit to the Hawks and the kind of year they've had. They can be a little out of sorts, have some miscommunication, and still recover in time to get the point.
Absolutely. Brianna Golding, who had that great game with a monster serve to the libero Klompmaker. She recovers it. Redeemer puts the ball out. Point for Humber.
And a nice job there by O'Connor, letting it go long.
And that's veteran awareness, right? If it's over your shoulders, not many players will let that go.
Absolutely. O'Connor, 4th-year player.
Golding with the service. That's a set by Neiman, and it's a little too high. I think she jumped a little too early, and Nustra couldn't get there.
A little bit of a missed timing there on that play.
Might have jumped just a little bit too early.
And then that's a very difficult thing. Easy for us to say up here, but
Nustra with the serve. Dara with the dig. They're going to go all the way to the back, and that's a free ball put over by Dara. A set. This is Neiman with a great set to number 8. That's blocked. Lowen couldn't get there. A free ball by DeVries. Militek, back set. This time she sets Newman, and that's a point for Humber.
And that's Allie Newman, really that entire point. First, the block, getting herself in position, then coming back and finishing the point off. Really just a great all-around play.
And there's a reason why she's climbing the ranks in Humber blocks all time.
Yes.
Service by Coleman. set by Neiman. And they're calling point for Humber on a double touch.
And you mentioned the blocks for Allie Newman. She recently moved from 5th to 4th all-time in Humber history with 109 career blocks.
I don't know about you, but I can barely block once.
Yes. Much easier said than done.
Exactly. Neiman setting to number 8, Lowen, and she's blocked. They'll try again. Free ball, tipped there by number 10, put it over to Raff. Dara, back row attack there from Coleman. She hits the net.
Just a little bit off there, the timing for Coleman. But again, overall, you could see Humber getting themselves in a little better position. Came out of the gates a little slow last game, able to make adjustments as great teams and great coaches do. And we're kind of seeing that same theme play out here this evening.
Great dig attempt by Ashley Dara, but that one went into the net. Not much that Allie Newman could do.
No, that's a tough play right there, and Miletic went for it as well. But still, again, a healthy early lead here. This is different than last game when Humber actually lost the first game.
Another service this time. It's number 12, O'Connor, who grabs it. Great job by Newman.
And again, you see Newman can not only block, but she can deliver the power as well. And that's just really fundamentally sound volleyball being played by Chris Wilkins' team.
Absolutely. Ashley Dara being subbed out at this point. Allie Newman with the service. Recovered by Lowen. Set by Neiman. And a double touch.
Well, second time in just a few points that we've seen that for Redeemer. They've got to get that straightened out. Cannot have fundamental mistakes and hurt yourself against a team as good as Humber.
I mean, like you said, those are easy to fix.
Yes.
Newman, service to the libero. That's Klumpmaker. This will be number 8, Lowen, putting it over. Militek, with a sneaky play.
That's a tough one. We're right between a couple of Redeemer players, DeRaff and DeVries, unable to get there. And now we get a timeout over on the Redeemer side.
And I bet what they were thinking is, that Deacon Poot was going to go up either for a pokey or for a big smash. But on what we got there was a bit of a sneaky play from the veteran Militek.
Well, you got to have some versatility in your game plan. Chris Wilkins and his team certainly have that. You don't get to an undefeated season as they have without having some tricks up your sleeve, Jacob.
Exactly, and those tricks are coming at a great time. You know, we've said that there's 4 games left in the season for Humber, 2 home games. The OCAA Championships happening in about a month's time at St. Clair College in Windsor from February 24th to February 26th. So a great time for the Humber women to tune up and get ready for that tournament.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the playoffs certainly a formality for most of the season for this Humber Hawks team, but you never want to give away too many secrets as far as your trick plays, but you also don't want to be rusty when you get into the postseason. You want to see if some of those tricks in your bag are good and if they can be effective against quality opponents, which Redeemer is.
Actually, absolutely, and a team that's in playoff contention. You know, they're sitting at 6th right now, so totally in the playoff race. A bit different than Humber, you know, given that they haven't lost in over 5 years. What is it, 123 games straight?
123. So again, it's a little bit of a different feel. You have a team that's kind of fighting for its playoff lives against a team that's, as you said, tuning up more so for the postseason.
Allie Newman with the serve. A great float to the back. That one's almost out. That'll be a set by number 9, Klumpmaker. Recovered by Golding, Miletic, and a great kill there by Devin O'Connor.
And again, O'Connor, as we said, had a terrific month of December. Teetered off just a little bit in January, looking to turn that intensity back up here in the month of February. As we take a look at this replay, again, I mean, nothing that Redeemer can do, and that's just a great play.
Allie Newman confuses them with a bit of a float to the front row this time. That's Lowen. Great dig there by Humber. That's O'Connor that puts it into the net, but I believe what happened on that one was she put it a little too low.
Well, a heck of an effort by Golding to keep that play alive, and only so much you can do. A good job by Redeemer staying with the play, not getting discouraged. That can happen. We see it. Another team makes a terrific play. You keep the point alive and you finish it.
Especially when you're down now 8 serving 15. Oh, and a mishandle, a rare mistake there by a Humber player. I believe that was Bryn Coleman who made that mistake.
Yeah, Bryn Coleman just a little bit off of the timing. Seen that on a few points here early on. Again, nothing to panic over. Something that I think Chris Wilkins will get fixed.
Everybody's human, right?
Yes, even Humber Hawks.
Aaron Lowen now with a bit of a run serve. And, a great joust there that Humber wins.
And again, that's just the intensity, wanting it just a little bit more when the play forced up to the net as you take a look here at the replay. And a good effort by Redeemer, but just a little bit more intensity from the Humber side on that play.
Militic now with the serve. Great serve. That's received by DeVries. Put over. Dara with a big set there. Put over by Deacon Poot. And that'll be number 12, DeVries, who puts it over. Dara with a baseball swing to get it over. That's a free ball that's recovered. Neiman will set again. Oh, and she puts it into her net on her side.
A terrific play by Bryn Coleman, keeping that point alive. And you can just see as the play develops, the Humber Hawks so disciplined. Everybody doing their individual job. And that's a veteran team. You know, 5 first-year players on Humber, but 7 first-year players for Redeemer. So a little bit of inexperience, and that can certainly show up in games like this.
And a rare mistake there by Gabby Militek as she puts that one into the net on a serve.
Well, Redeemer certainly not out of it, but you know, you can feel that one team a little bit superior to the other, but Redeemer's got to do everything they can to scratch and claw.
Oosterhoff serves it out. And it'll be Devin O'Connor now with the serve. She had a service error on the last one. Let's see if she can correct that here. O'Connor with the serve. She puts that one in. Great positioning as Gabby Militek puts it up. Dara, back row attack by O'Connor, recovered by the libero. That's number 9, Neiman, with a pokey by DeVries. Dara sets again, this time to Golding. Neiman, great block there by Golding. A push to the back row, great read by Dara. It'll be an attack on the other side, this time by Coleman. Militek with a back set, this time to Golding, and the ball is out, point for Redeemer.
And you mentioned before this game started, Jacob, that one of the things Redeemer does really well is block, but that's an area that Humber is kind of beating Redeemer at its own game at this game. Not that Humber is not a very good blocking team in its own right, but that was a key for Redeemer coming in. If they were going to have success, they were going to have to block effectively, but it's been Humber that's been a little bit stronger in that aspect of the game.
Absolutely. Serve by Redeemer, recovered by Dara, back set again. We'll do Golding, blocked, and point for Redeemer.
Well, it was like they were listening to us. The block right there, coming right back with it. And again, give Redeemer, give the Royals credit here. They're hanging tough, 18-12, certainly not out of it.
Tell me how your words taste on that one, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a serve by Redeemer. Militek with a nice quick there, and it's blocked by Redeemer, but point for Humber.
And again, up front, second play in a row, Jenna Nordstra getting involved in the action and doing a good job kind of forcing that pressure back on Humber.
So it'll be a serve now by Elizabeth Deacon Poot from Georgetown, Ontario, her 3rd year with the team. She'll put the ball in off the net. Great recovery. Neiman sets to DeVries, blocked by number 11, Coleman.
Well, I think Redeemer was hoping for the tennis rule in that, the let, and they go back, but they don't get that call. And a serve just getting over the net and giving Humber a point to get to 20.
In my neck of the woods, we call those squeakers.
Squeakers. Coin that term here.
Let's trademark that. Deacon Poot with a serve that's in.
And an ace. Got to feel good for Deacon Poot coming off a huge game and making her presence felt here this evening.
I mean, she had a service ace in the last game, so again, adding to her service aces yet again. Elizabeth Deacon Poot, second serve, put up there by DeVries. Great dig by Neiman as Lowen puts it over all the way to the back row. Deacon Poot, Militek, back row attack by Emma Heaney, who's now checked in. Neiman set across to DeVries, and that's blocked, but tipped and out.
And Erin Lowen and Kirsten Klompmaker colliding on that play, but Redeemer able to stay with it as you take a look at the replay here and finishing the play. One of the players we talked about in our pregame, that's Charlene DeVries.
And that ball served by Charlene is now out.
Well, she give it, she take it the way.
And the rookie Brianna Golding now with her serve. Great float, recovered by DeVries. Back set, blocked by both Militek and Newman. They're a great combo. Point for Humber on a double touch.
Again, a nice job. Fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. Sounds so basic and easy, but you'd be surprised how difficult that is to carry out for a lot of teams.
And a veteran team like Humber doesn't make those kind of mistakes as they serve it. Great serve.
And you mentioned a veteran team. It's one thing that good teams always have, certainly veteran leadership, but every good team is going to have at some point contributions from its rookies. And we were talking about Brianna Golding, what a rookie season she's had.
Absolutely, as Lowen puts that over, Dara with a dig, Gabby Militek with a nice quick to Newman, and that's game set for Humber.
25-13. So again, you know, lost that first point, a little bit back and forth early on, but showing the poise of a championship caliber team with the Hawks.
And again, Militek and Newman, I think I talked about them in my last broadcast. They have a great set of teamwork between the two of them. It's almost like they have ESP going. You know, one knows where the other one's going, and vice versa.
We're going to take a look here of that last sequence here in just a moment, as you can see some of that teamwork on display with the two of them at the net. And there was the kill there by Allie Newman.
And just great to watch number 13, Allie Newman from Kitchener, Ontario. First set for Humber. We've still got a lot of volleyball action left between the Humber Hawks and the Redeemer Royals. We're going to get to the second set right after this. And here's some highlights of that first set. Back here with the second set between the Redeemer Royals and the Humber Hawks. A bit of a lopsided affair as we see the first set go Humber's way, 25-13.
Yeah, and again, a couple of points early on went Redeemer's way, but Humber just staying with it. The fundamentals sound so easy, but it's really not. But that's what makes this team so incredibly special, going for 124 straight OCAA wins.
And we talked about the players. We talked about Brianna Golding. She had 2 points in that first set. But more notably, Elizabeth Deacon-Poot, 5 points in that first set. As well, Allie Newman with 4 points. Devin O'Connor, only 1.
And Deacon-Poot, as we said before, coming off a big game with 11 points and coming up with 5 in that first game alone.
And, you know, Charlene DeVries isn't someone that we need to, you know, discount as well. She had 3 points out of the team's 13 in that first set. So a great set there by Charlene DeVries. So we're about to get started here in the second set. So this is number 11, Coleman serving, and that ball goes out.
That's okay. You can have a few unforced errors here and there. It's the ability to recover from those that really separates the good teams from the great teams.
Absolutely. Number 14 now, Rebecca Oosterhoff with a service. Hard one that goes out past Brianna Golding. Sorry, Devin O'Connor.
So back switching off points here that are being decided on the serve. Saw a few of those in the first game. We saw a service ace for the second straight game from Elizabeth Deacon-Poot.
And Allie Newman with some great serving again. That's Neiman passing it to DeVries. She hits it out.
A little too strong there for Charlene DeVries.
And something, you know, she probably should have come down a little bit more on the ball instead of kind of throwing that out as she did. Allie Newman with a serve that goes out.
And that's 3 out of the first 4 points here in this second game that have been decided on the serve. We saw a lot of good action in the first game at the net, and start this game off with most of the points being decided on the serve.
And, you know, Allie Newman's not typically someone who misses serve, so it's interesting to see kind of that go around both teams' rosters. And another one out on Redeemer.
It's becoming a theme here in this second game of both teams with kind of a few unforced errors. A little out of character.
Gabby Militic now going to try and break that streak of missed serves with a great serve to the libero, Klump maker. Great save there by Neiman. And another out by DeVries. That's the second hit in a row where she's hit it out.
And we'll go back to the serve there for Militic. At first game, 9 assists for Gabby Militic.
Windsor, Ontario's own Gabby Militic, second serve. Great float there. Set. It's a back set, and Redeemer makes Humber pay.
Redeemer starting out hot here in this second game, but trying to hang tough. Made a few good plays in that first game. Very difficult to hang tough with a very deep lineup as this Humber Hawks team has.
Charlene DeVries now. She usually runs up a bit there with a nice, powerful float. Militic goes across. Great hit there by Golding. Point for Humber.
And at times in this game, Hawks players at the net have just been overpowering, and that's just been one of the great themes of this rookie season for Brianna Golding.
And, you know, don't discount Devin O'Connor. She's got some power on her arm as well.
Absolutely.
Speaking of O'Connor, that's her serve. This is Neiman with the set, and a great play there by number 10, Daraff.
A little bit handcuffed there on that play was Militic. And we're going to take another look here, and you see just really out of position.
Yeah, I think she was ready for a bump, but that one came maybe a little bit higher than she was expecting. Service, and great read there by Ashley Dara.
And yet another point here in the early going decided on the service.
And, you know, great veteran read there. We talked about the fact that Ashley Dara doesn't usually start at libero, so great to see her make a great read like that. Elizabeth Deacon-Poot with the serve, set by Neiman. A bit of a roll shot there as Militic puts it up. That's Allie Newman, who sets number 11, Coleman, and put right back over. Humber point.
And power, but also placement. Accuracy so important for players. And we saw in the first game, you know, as much power as Humber has, very good placement, not afraid to put a little touch on it to throw Redeemer off its game a little bit.
Get a player that can do both.
Yes.
Deacon-Poot, great service, set by Neiman. It's a bit of a back set there, and a smash by Nicole Daraff.
And some power there from Redeemer, trying to flip the script a little bit.
They're not going to go down silently. You know, they're 6th in the West, 6 and 8, but they're still in the playoff race.
Well, they want to win over Humber. It's been 22 straight for Humber over Redeemer.
And not something you see there often. Devin O'Connor missing that one. My apologies, Michael.
No, just caught a little bit out of position there was O'Connor. Seen that a couple of occasions in this second game.
Brianna Golding now with a service. It's 8 serving 5 with a jump float there. Recovered by DeVries, back set. And that's a great smash attempt by Daraff, who's going to probably try again. Yep, it's Golding, Militic. And they're going to call a point for Redeemer on Humber. It's a double touch.
Double touch, but again at the net, forcing the issue, or doing their best to force the issue with the Hawks, Bryn Coleman and Allie Newman.
Rebecca Nash in for Redeemer now. She'll serve. Great serve, recovered by O'Connor. Militic, back row attack, and that's a great block by Redeemer.
A great job by DeVries and Oosterhoff. We talked about them in our opening, and there's that 1-2 punch for Redeemer coming through with a big point.
3rd and 5th in the league for blocks.
Trying to keep some momentum on their side, if they have any, trying to keep it.
That's Nash. Militic for Humber with a bit of a quick there to Newman, and the ball goes out, and Newman was not pleased. She thought she had that one.
It was a close call, very difficult to see, and we're going to take another look here on the replay, and maybe just a little bit long, a little bit of daylight between that out-of-bounds line and the ball.
Nash, 3rd serve. And that one flies right over the net, and Dara, great dig there as we get a ball over by Golding.
And a powerful serve from Nash.
Absolutely, and they're going to call Humber point on what appears to be another double for Redeemer.
But Nash giving her team a pretty good opportunity, good placement and good power on that serve.
And again, a great dig by Ashley Adair to save that play.
And saying her name a lot, she's stepping into the lineup for Kyla Wilkins here this evening.
Neiman, a bit of a step backwards for an attack there. It's DeVries, Neiman, and a great attack there by number 14, Oosterhoff.
And Chris Wilkins not entirely pleased there, just a little bit out of position as we're going to take a look. And again, it's ball deflected, just not a lot that Coleman could do.
The 9-9 serve coming from Rebecca Oosterhoff. Jump serve, it's a float, close to the net, and Gabby Militek finds the gap.
And there's that touch we talked about. A lot of power for Humber, but they don't have to show it on every play. There's a time to just drop it in, teardrop.
And that teardrop hit the floor, and it hit it real well there.
Yeah, let's take another look at the play here. Just a nice touch.
Allie Newman served that last one. It's a great touch that's blocked by Militek as well as Deacon Poot. Great dig there by Allie Newman. Back row attack coming from number 11. That's Coleman. And an attack from Redeemer that goes way out.
And talked a lot this evening about Newman and overall what she can do at the net, but there's an example of her game being having a lot of variety to it. She makes a play on the backside of the court as well.
And then here she comes for a service. Allie Newman, that ball looked out, but played by Redeemer anyway. Great tip there by Redeemer. Militek with a back set and a great attack by Brianna Golding, but they're going to call a lift. No, sorry, a hand over the net, rather.
And we'll take another look here. And a great job to keep that play alive by O'Connor, but Golding just getting the hand over the net.
Neiman with a serve. It's a float to the front row there. Militek with a great one to Devin O'Connor, but she's stuffed.
And again, it's blocked by who else on the other side of things? Well, Nicole DeRaff, not one of the names we mentioned, but she's had a big game here in the second game.
And you know, when we talked about the keys to Redeemer's success, it's serving and it's blocking, and there's half of it right there. And is that the other half?
There's
no,
yeah.
That was a pretty close serve.
Well, it was close. We've had a lot of points decided on the serve in this game, certainly more than we had the entire first game, and a close one here, 12-11 in the second game.
Gabby Militek now. Great service. That'll be a set by Neiman across, and a great smash there by DeRaff.
And again, DeRaff has really made her presence felt here in the second game. Didn't call her name a lot in that opening set, but making some plays here.
Charlene DeVries now with a service. Scooped by Dara. Set, and O'Connor finds the libero who puts it up. This will be a hit from number 5, Nash. Militek setting Golding. And that's a smash that hits the top of the net there, out on Humber.
Little too much power again from Brianna Golding.
And Humber's now down at 13-12.
Well, only gave up 13 points in the entire first set, and here they are having given up 13, but with only 12 on the board for themselves. Different feel here in the second set.
Absolutely, as DeVries comes to the line for her second serve. She'll take a stretch, and she'll put that one in against Humber. Dara, Militek, and a great quick there to number 9, Deacon Poot. Set, and that's DeRaff that puts it over, and Dara thought she had it, but I think the ball hit the ground.
A valiant effort. Look, maybe for a split second like Derek may have gotten under it, but just could not. And as you can take a look here, just out of her reach as she goes for it. A great effort.
Thought for sure that she had that one.
It looked like
Charlene DeVries, third serve. Oh, and O'Connor misses that one as the ball comes under the commentary table.
getting to show off our hands a little bit.
You got great hands, Mike.
I only had to use one of them.
And a timeout called by the Humber Hawks.
And this is a surprise right now. Again, it only permitted 13 points in that first set, but now down 15-12. So a credit to this Redeemer Royals team. Made some adjustments and they came to play here tonight, Jacob.
They absolutely did. You know, a team that's put together 6 wins in the season is not a team that you ever need to discount, especially one that's still very much in the playoff picture in the West.
Yeah, and again, you said it, the playoff picture, the intensity of a team fighting for its playoff lives. Not that Humber's not fighting. They want to continue to win, feel good about themselves going to the playoffs, but we're going to listen here to Chris Wilkins, what he's telling his team.
Taking care of the ball out of the system. Well done. Okay, let's ramp up our defense, okay?
And you heard Scott Hunt, Redeemer coach, talking about ramping up the defense. That's got to be a big point of emphasis for Redeemer if they want to hang on to this lead.
Chris Wilkins, though, mentioning, you know, don't work hard, work smart, right? So they have to stick to what gets them wins, and that's, you know, working smart.
Well, and again, this team rallied from losing the first set against St. Clair over the weekend. And here again, a little bit of adversity, having to fight back from a deficit.
DeVries serves, and that's a smash attempt by Golding. It's blocked. Golding puts it up, and the ball's under the net, so no good for Humber. That's point Redeemer.
A tough angle there for Brianna Golding. Not a lot that Deacon Poot could do with it.
And Humber now taking out number 10, Golding. As I believe we've checked in number 8, Julia Watson. DeVries with another serve, and it's out.
And just a little bit of look of frustration as we look at the face of Chris Wilkins. Just not sure what's happening here, but we know that Redeemer has been very effective and very fundamentally sound here in the second game after some unforced errors in the opener.
And that service error couldn't come at a better time as O'Connor served it to the libero. Great chase there by Redeemer as Nash puts it over into a block by Watson. Nash will try again, another block attempt by Watson. Militek sets to Watson. Watson puts it over with a sneaky play that catches the blocker off guard.
And just a little bit of touch. Nice job by Watson coming off the bench. First action she's seen here this evening. And that's a big point. I mean, Humber, as we're going to take another look at the play, but they were down by 4, now just down by 2.
O'Connor almost fooled the libero there. She might have thought it was out, but Lowen realizing that it was in, and she left it. That'll be a hit there by 11, Coleman. Libero grabs it. It's a baseball swing to get it over. Great dig by Dara as Militek recovers as well. Back row attack from O'Connor. The libero number 8, that's Lowen now, putting that one over. O'Connor, Militek, great quick there by number 9, Deacon Poot. Recovery by number 7, Neiman. Put over by Humber, great dig. Dara puts it up, and O'Connor puts that one over. It's a free ball. Let's see what Redeemer can do. They put a free ball over themselves, and a little smash attack. Bit of miscommunication, and Dara probably shouldn't have grabbed, or maybe she should have grabbed that ball, but a bit of miscommunication around the team there.
You had a little bit of a black hole open up right there in the middle of the court. That was probably the longest point, Jacob, that we've seen all evening. Both teams really fighting hard, and Militek doing everything she could initially to keep that point alive, but just a little bit of miscommunication there at the end. Good job by Redeemer.
Nurdstra puts that one in, and Humber's not happy. They think that one's in. And the referee at the top of the net there, reversing the call. He obviously saw it with a little bit better.
Yeah, had a second to think about it. No argument from Scott Hunt, so got the call right.
Elizabeth Deacon Poot with the serve. 15 serving 17, down by 2 in this second set. Humber up 1-0. Deacon Poot, great serve, set by Neiman. And a bit of miscommunication at the net there, point Redeemer.
Yeah, Redeemer putting a little bit of pressure at the net too, just forcing Humber just back about a step as we take another look here. And here's the serve from Deacon Poot. Had a service ace in the last game.
And a service error there by Redeemer.
And again, kind of keeping up the theme of this second set with a lot of points being decided initially right off the serve.
And Julia Watson getting her first chance to serve in this game. The 5'10" right side from Burlington, Ontario.
First-year player.
A team full of veterans and rookies as well.
Yes, a good blend. 5 first-year players for the Hawks. As we mentioned, 7 for Redeemer.
Julia Watson serves, and that one's in the net.
And that's the way it's gone in this second set. Just a lot of points being determined without a play even developing.
So it'll be Nash who's had some, that's Rebecca Nash rather, that's gonna have another chance to serve. Her serves have been good so far tonight. Dara with a great bump there. Coleman sets back row attack from O'Connor, and she finds a spot where the libero wasn't in the right spot.
Yeah, and O'Connor doing a good job. And we take another look at the replay. This is really what Humber did effectively in the first set, where they were able to set up the way they wanted to and then finding some open space on the other side.
And the ball's in for Humber. Great service there by Coleman.
And second straight game that the Hawks have picked up a service ace. Those are big. I know they only count for 1 point, but I think mentally that could serve big notice.
And timeout called there at probably the best time by Redeemer head coach Brad Dewis. So Michael, you know, we are now 19 for Redeemer, 18 for the Humber Hawks. In the last timeout, Chris Wilkins, that he called, he said, we need to work smart, don't work hard. And Redeemer said, hey, let's focus on the defense. But I think there's much more than just defense going on for the Redeemer Royals.
Well, they've been much more fundamentally sound here in the second game. They came out a little bit sluggish in the first set. And it's coaching, but it's also discipline. And then we've seen a couple of players interchanged into the lineup that have had an impact. A player whose name we didn't really call in the first set, Nicole DeRaff. As you see again, going over things is Scott Hunt with his team.
So we'll get the play underway here again after Redeemer called that timeout. This is Coleman, 18, serving 19, a crucial point. Let's see if there's a coach's point there for freezing out the offense. It appears not to be the case. Has a great block there from Militek to get a point for Humber.
And again, both teams have had success more so in this game with the touch than they have with the power. And that was the case on that play with Militek at the net.
Back serving for the Hawks, we have number 11, Bryn Spence Coleman, or rather Bryn Coleman. And a baseball swing to get it over there by Lowen, set by Militek. And here's O'Connor with the thing that makes her famous, that big smash.
And you can see that developing just the way it was setting up, that it was going to be a lot of open space and a chance for some serious power from O'Connor. And as you said, does it better than anybody.
And she's fired up now. This is a set from number 9, Klump Maker. Great touch there. Militek will set O'Connor again, who puts that one out this time. Maybe didn't get her hand far down enough to get that one inside.
And it goes without saying, big point for Redeemer, not only to tie the game, but you could see a little bit more energy, a little bit more fire just in these last couple of plays after the timeout by the Humber Hawks, sensing that they've got themselves a real fight in this second set.
Fight indeed, 20 serving 20 as Oosterhoff serves it to Darrow, who puts it over, and that joust is won by Redeemer.
And right in the middle of things is Charlene DeVries, one of the keys coming into this game for Redeemer.
Rebecca Oosterhoff, second serve. 21 serving 20 as the action ramps up here. Great service back to O'Connor, set, and O'Connor will get it again with that stutter step. Blocked, Newman, O'Connor. Militek will put it over with a touch. This is Militek again, who'll set O'Connor again. She's gonna come in with some power, and that ball went off the top of the net, so they're gonna call it for Redeemer.
Yeah, it would have been a point for the Hawks, and instead you get a big swing, that 2-point swing this late in the game. Redeemer up 22-20 now.
And you saw the referee, he kind of went one arm to the other arm, the ball going off the top there.
Yeah, and you can see right there, as it's setting up, another point decided on the serve, and this one goes Humber's way.
Absolutely, and couldn't come, you know, when you get this close, you can't be making service errors like that. So it goes to Allie Newman, who hopefully will put this ball in. Allie Newman, number 13, goes back, but she gets it in. It'll be DeVries who puts that one into the net. Point for Humber.
Yeah, just a little bit off there. I'm not sure what happened with Redeemer as they were trying to get that point, but ends up going Humber's way.
Second serve now for Allie Newman from Kitchener, Ontario. It's her 5th year with the team, so her final year with the team.
Only 5th-year player on this Hawks roster.
And now Redeemer's ready to go, so Newman will put it in. Great float by Newman. Number 5, Nash, And that ball smashed by Redeemer. Militek setting O'Connor. O'Connor with a tricky one, and that's point for Humber.
Perfect accuracy using the back line there to get themselves a critical point here late in this second set.
And a timeout called by Redeemer. So on that one, what was interesting was O'Connor, you know, she's usually one that goes for the big power, but there she put a little bit of a pokey over, a little bit of a tip to get it over.
Yeah, and that's great awareness too, because instinctively I think you want to go and have the power. And she just sees the open space, instinctively says, hey, I've got some open room, and was able to place the ball exactly where it needed to be.
It's very interesting to see kind of the differences between the Humber men's team and the Humber women's team. The Humber men's team, they have those power hitters in Alex Gibbs and Clayton Blanchette. But on the Humber women's team, you know, you've got Devin O'Connor who smashes hard, but then you've got kind of the more finesse hitters like an Allie Newman, like a Gabby Miletic.
And it's not just, you know, having the ability to do both, but it's also knowing when to put those to use. So very important, and that's what the good teams do.
Absolutely, and as the Humber Hawks mascot walks in front of the play-by-play table, we'll get back into the action here. 23 serving 22 as Newman comes to the line. Newman with a float. Back, that's DeVries, and that's a joust that's won by Devin O'Connor at the top of the net.
Not having to do much, but being in perfect position was O'Connor. Didn't have to windmill anything. As you're going to take a look, it just being exactly where you need to be. Fundamentals, we've said it before, we'll say it again, I'm sure.
Allie Newman now trying to close out this game as DeVries is going to take a smash set there. Libero, and this will be DeVries again with a roll shot, and she finds a gap. Chris Wilkins isn't pleased on that play.
Thought maybe that somebody touched the net on the other side. I'm not sure if that's what he was arguing.
But Ashley Dara now checks in for Allie Newman as Chris Wilkins calls a timeout. 23 for the Royals, serving 24 for the Hawks.
Well, you don't have to say it. Goes without saying, a must-win point coming up for Redeemer, but it's Wilkins who wants to get his team set. Scott Hunt knowing, of course, the situation. He's called a couple of timeouts already, and now Wilkins wanting to finish this off, not wanting to push this to any additional points. His team has had to work pretty hard here, Jacob, in the second set.
Absolutely, and just some veteran coaching on both sides, or some great kind of coaching strategy. Been 4 timeouts called in this set, and each time at a time to hopefully freeze out the offense from either side.
Yeah, and I think we only saw 1 called in the first set, if I'm not mistaken. So, again, you know, this is the one that kind of swings things. You go up 2-0 versus 1-1. There's about 10 seconds left here on the timeout clock.
And I mean, very different from the game of the weekend where Humber lost to St. Clair College in Windsor. They lost the first set, so obviously they were kind of working uphill, you know, if they were to lose this set. A little bit different from that game in Windsor, but still not a situation you want to be in.
Yeah, and those were hard-fought sets. I mean, every set won by either, you know, 7 or 8 points, so it wasn't like they blew them out either, but they were able to stay the course.
And hopefully stay the course in this game and pull this one out to keep their undefeated streak going. Militek sets to O'Connor, and she finds the floor. Great play by Devin O'Connor.
That's a good finish. Strong finish to that play and a strong finish to this second set. And we go up 2-0, a real stranglehold on this game for the Humber Hawks as you take a look, and just a great finish. That's a little bit of an emphasis, driving the final dagger home in this second set.
And dagger indeed, as you have the pictured Devin O'Connor clapping her hand. She's very pleased with that one. I believe that was her 3rd kill of the set. We'll make sure to give you a breakdown on what happened in the second set. But first, we've got some highlights to show you of that second set.
You missed it, nice enough. You're not done. I'm looking at you, lady. I think we're about ready to go. In 3, 2, 1, go!
Welcome back to the Hawks Nest in this third set between the Redeemer Royals and the Humber Hawks. I'm Jacob McCourt with Michael Seth. A great set of action, and we kind of talked about some players to watch on the Redeemer side, and one of them is really showing that she's got offense for days.
Yeah, leading the field here this evening is Charlene DeVries with 8 points. That's 3 more than anybody else in this entire game. So we talked about it in the opening, kind of a 1-2 punch leading the way. That was going to have to be big for Redeemer, and those players have come up big, both DeVries and Oosterhoff, but it's been spread out. The wealth has been spread out for the Humber Hawks. You have 5 players with at least 3 points, or 6 players with at least 3 points. So that's kind of been the theme for both of these teams, the depth for Humber and the 1-2 punch for Redeemer.
Rebecca Nash with the serve. That'll be Allie Newman that tries to pokey that one out, and I believe she made a mistake there. The ball goes out, Redeemer point.
And as funny as it sounds to say, I mean, after what happened in the last set, kind of playing that back and forth, no panic. And maybe that's what caught Humber off guard a little bit. Had a pretty easy time in the first set, 25-13, but was really in for a fight. Went back and forth that entire second set.
Rebecca Nash, second serve. That's received by O'Connor. O'Connor wants it. She goes for it. Great roll shot. That's number 8 Lowen, and they're going to call a Humber point on a double touch by Redeemer.
Well, I've seen a few of those double touches in this game. Most of them have come from the Redeemer Royals. Cannot have those kind of mistakes if you're going to hang tough with this Humber Hawks team.
Service by Ali Newman, received by the libero Lowen. Set by Neiman, and that's blocked, but goes out on a tip, so point for Redeemer.
Call her name again, Charlene DeVries. Had a huge impact as we take another look at this play. Again, see, you know, just the power, but also the positioning, the technique. A great job by DeVries, and that's why she has really been the star for this Redeemer Royals team.
Service bear that by Redeemer as the ball goes into the net. Humber puts it back over. It'll be a shot by Daraft to put it over. Free ball. Dara, Militek, back set, and a run up there by Deacon Poot, and she makes Redeemer pay.
How about the Hawks after the squeaker went over the net? It was a tough serve, but they were able to hang tough, the Hawks.
Michael, I told you we're going to trademark that term, squeaker.
We should. I think it's a good term.
Gabby Miletic now. This will be Neiman at the net, and she makes a mistake. Point for Humber.
And that just, I mean, that play just ate up the Redeemer Royals there. No chance on that return. Kind of an awkward position that that Lexi Neiman was caught in.
Gabby Miletic now. Miletic, rather. Puts that one deep as a Lowen. Puts that one to Nutstra, who puts it over. Miletic back and blocked there by DeVries.
How about Charlene DeVries really single-handedly almost keeping her team in the game as we take another look, because look at this power coming from Brianna Golding. That is a really tough task to have to handle, but she does it like a seasoned veteran.
Lexi Neiman, great run float there. Miletic, back set, and that's Devin O'Connor that puts that one in.
A great job by O'Connor. And just to go back to DeVries and Ustroff for a second, I mean, I say veteran leadership, but they're both first-year players, but they have the poise of third and fourth-year players.
Devin O'Connor from Milton with a great float there. That almost catches the libero Lowen off guard. It's a free ball put over there. Miletic setting across to Coleman, who puts it in the net.
Maybe just catching it a little bit too low on her arm.
Because I definitely think that one, the set was an okay height. It just, she wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Charlene DeVries, first serve here in this third set. Great float, Dara, Miletic, and a great smash there by Brianna Golding.
Now that was the right height and the right depth. And you cannot stop that. When she is in that kind of position, forget it.
And again, like we said, rookie with the team, right?
Yeah, rookies making an impact. There's a theme for both of these teams, really.
Elizabeth Deacon-Poot serves. And that one catches the libero, Aaron Lowen, off guard.
Not a whole lot she can do. Again, that's finding the space. It's not just the power, but it's the accuracy and finding the space to take another look at this replay. I mean, again, that's just the way the defense is set up. Take advantage of that if you're the Hawks.
Deacon-Poot again puts it to the back row. This will be Neiman setting, and that's number 10, Daraff. This time it'll be Coleman that smashes, but the referee calls a whistle, and that'll be, I believe, a net touch.
Yeah,
there.
Contact with the net there. A little too close.
So Deacon-Poot will get her third serve here, 7 serving 4. Deacon-Poot. And another mishandle there by Lowen. That's the second one out of 3.
It just looked like Lowen wasn't in the right position to make a return. Kind of just an awkward lunge at that ball, and not a whole lot you're going to be able to do with that.
Deacon-Poot, fourth serve now. Neiman setting to number 8, Lowen, or sorry, number 5, Nash, and she gets the point off a tip.
And Redeemer, you know, hanging tough. Really, we saw that in the first game, too. I mean, that final was 25-13. That game may be a little bit closer than the score indicated, and certainly the last game was as close as you could get.
Nordstra serving. That's Ali Newman, who's blocked by number 14, Oosterhoff.
Again, the two rookies, DeVries and Oosterhoff, really, and with some contributions from Daraff as well, but really keeping this Redeemers Royals team
Showing there why she's number 3rd in the league for blocks.
Yeah.
Nordström puts that one out.
Now, a lot of points in the second set determined on the service, so haven't quite seen that as much here, but that one burns Redeemer.
9 serving 6 here as Golding serves it into the net. A service error for Golding.
Yeah, it got up a little bit on top of that ball to Golding.
And that's the first time that she's done that this game. First service error for Golding. DeRaff with a service error of her own.
Yeah, the two teams in this game really hurting themselves with service errors, especially Redeemer, 12 in that last set. But this is not something that you can afford when you're fighting an uphill battle.
Especially when you lose a game by 4 points, right?
Yeah.
Number 14, this is Miletic, who puts it to O'Connor, who smashes it right into a set of hands. Point for Humber.
And O'Connor, again, I mean, it's just so much of it is just about positioning, being where you need to be. And that's half the battle at least right there.
Coleman with the serve. This is Neiman setting to Nash, who puts it to Dara, and Dara was there, but she was running backwards.
Valiant effort by Dara. And one thing I've noticed Redeemer, more so playing the perimeter, so there is a little bit of daylight there in the center of the court, and I think that as we take a look here, you can see the way they're set up, but they're trying to exploit that are the Hawks off the service.
Rebecca Nash with a service that hits the net. Another service error. That's number 14 for Redeemer in this game.
Way too many, goes without saying. And that is really just come back to haunt Redeemer here as they trail. Again, I mean, trail by 4. They lost the last set by 2.
Newman serves to DeVries. DeVries will get it back, so smash it. Recovery, and they're going to call a net touch there by Humber.
It's happened a couple of times in this game. And really both sides, you know, mostly have played pretty good volleyball, but we have seen some uncharacteristic errors on both sides as well.
Humber's not, you know, they're usually a very disciplined team. And that's out on Redeemer.
Another service error.
15.
15.
Coming into the game for the Humber Hawks, number 18, Celine Blanchett.
And coming in as a bit of a defensive specialist to try and get the service, Celine Blanchett, sister to Clayton Blanchett from the men's team.
First-year setter out of St. Catharines.
And Neiman tries, but it's no good. Humber point. Celine will go back for serve number 2. And a bit of a swing there by Neiman, and she catches Humber's defense off guard.
A good job by Neiman. And we'll take another look at the replay. And not a ton that Derek could do.
Service there by Redeemer. And that's Dara getting in there. And they're going to call point for Redeemer. That ball was a double touch.
Derek really having to move around quite a bit here.
Service by Neiman again. She'll float one to the front row, almost catching Dara off guard as that ball goes off the post, and it's point for Redeemer.
And how about Redeemer? It looked like this game might get away from them, and they continue to chip away and hang tough.
Neiman with another serve. I believe this is her 3rd. Floats one back. That's Dara that grabs it. It'll be a back row attack there. Just a bit of a free ball. Neiman puts it up, and a smash attempt by DeRaff. This will be Blanchett with a back set to Golding. Golding again. Coleman there, calling her teammates away, but hitting that one into the net.
Just couldn't get back over that. Excellent play by Derek. Just going, her momentum taking her one way and having to dive back in the other direction to keep that point alive.
And there's a bit of a height difference between the usual libero and her, so it's interesting to see her having to run around the court a little bit more. This will be Golding with a smash. That one's a point.
No chance for Redeemer. Again, I mean, so much of it as we take a look, you say, well, why can't they do this on every play? But it's very difficult sometimes to just get in position and have everything aligned. But still, when you believe in the fundamentals, you will get a number of those plays, and those plays really are unstoppable.
And usually coming from both O'Connor and Golding as Dara puts it up. That's a back row attack from O'Connor. Lowen puts it up. Neiman, this time to DeVries, who puts it to Blanchett. Dara great spot there, and that's 10 Golding making him pay.
Again, almost in the same spot. And that play taking a little bit longer as we take a look. But again, on the side, that's just such a tough angle to try and pick that ball up, especially when it's coming in that hard.
And a great bump set there by Dara. You know, we talked about it. She isn't usually the libero that plays for Humber, so it's great to see her kind of settling into the game and making great sets like that.
And another mark of a great team is having players step up when maybe they're not expecting to contribute on that given day. And Derek has done a tremendous job stepping in for Kyla Wilkins.
Absolutely, and we'll listen in to the coaches here as we go through this timeout.
I know our wings are going wide, right? Keep trying to read. We talked. Keep trying to read where the set is, right? And if it's inside, don't be afraid. Just take a bunny hop inside and go get square on that ball, right? Imagine if we take one step in, how big that slam block is, right? She's hitting pretty hard, but that means we got a chance to block her really well, right? So just had one little run to get ourselves right back in it. Okay, let's go right back. One side out. Need to be strong on pass. Get one side out. Keep the pressure on.
And some great advice there by the Redeemer head coach, Scott Hunt.
Yeah, saying keep the pressure on, but pay attention to where the set is.
Absolutely, he said if you take a step in the right direction, that could mean the difference between, you know, getting the block and not.
Well, maybe calling back to just these previous 2 points, there's really not a lot they could do when Golding gets in position like that. So trying to avoid that same fate here moving forward.
Devin O'Connor with the serve, and that's Lowen that puts it way to the back, almost knocking over the team's iPad.
Technology getting in the way.
It could have been one of our wonderful camera folks, though.
They were safe and sound as far as we can see.
Devin O'Connor now, great serve there by her. Neiman puts that one across to Duraf. That's blocked. Neiman will try again, this time to DeFries. And O'Connor grabs that one to Golding. It goes way back. Coleman with the save, but not far enough. And the team's a bit confused there.
Yeah, just a little bit off. But Golding, you know, one thing I like about her, just watching, first-year player, plays with a lot of emotion, actually pumping her fist after one of the returns there, even though they didn't get the point. Really, you got to like the energy. So not just the contribution of a young player, but the kind of energy that they can bring as well.
Absolutely, as DeVries now comes in, and that serve, wow, great serve.
The squeaker, they had no answer for that.
No,
that is just, yeah.
You don't see many like that.
Yeah. Well, they say in football there's no defense for a perfect pass, and that was on display right there.
So I guess no defense for a perfect serve?
Yep, that sounds about right.
Trademark that one too.
Trademark it, yeah.
DeVries.
Got a lot of legal action after this game.
Great block there by Redeemer, and that's number 10, Golding, who couldn't get there soon enough, goes into the net.
Yeah, and a couple of points here that we've seen is we're going to take another look where they've had some trouble at the net. Have to get that straightened out, because that's an area where they want to make sure that Redeemer doesn't beat them. That's an area that Redeemer has had success this season.
Number 12, that's Dara that picks that up. Blanchette sets to Coleman. Great recovery there by Lowen. Put over there by Nordström. Dara, great bump set. She's had great bump sets in this game, and that one proves to be another good one.
And a nice job, again, just finding the open space, not trying to be too fine or overpowering for that matter. And again, players just stepping in. Blanchette doing a nice job coming off the bench here.
Deacon Poot with the serve. That's Lowen. Set by Neiman, and that's blocked by Duraf. Duraf is blocked.
Yeah, that tandem at the net, Coleman and Newman, so effective. We take another look. And just again, staying with the play, staying patient. You can see the body language, no panic whatsoever, and that's why this team is so good.
Deacon Poot puts that one to the back corner. Back set. Great hit there by number 10, Duraf. It'll be 11 on our side. Coleman, as Lowen runs back, that ball's way out, point for Humber.
And on some of these points, we haven't seen it a lot in this game, but there have been plays for Humber, but really none for Redeemer, where they have just overpowered them.
And a timeout called by Redeemer.
And Scott Hunt, and you see him congratulating these players. They really have to give credit to Redeemer for their effort. They have given Humber everything it can handle here this evening.
Especially with the offense coming from Charlene DeVries as well as Nicole DeRaff. We didn't talk about her at the beginning of the show, but we did talk about Oosterhoff, who as well has been contributing on the offense.
Yeah, those players have all stepped up, done what we probably would have expected them to do, and maybe a little bit more, because a lot of depth on the Humber side. Probably can't match the depth if you're Redeemer, so you really need your star players to do everything they can. And as I mentioned, DeRaff, that's been a pleasant surprise this evening for the Royals.
Absolutely, and Coach Scott Hunt has had some great advice for the team. In the first time out, he talked about defense, where we got the microphone in there. The second time we got the mic in there, he was talking about reading the set and making sure you take a step in the right direction. So some great coaching coming from Redeemer side as well.
And you can see the body language on Hunt, kind of mirrored by the body language by his team. They're very calm. They don't look overwhelmed. They know that they're facing an extremely talented team that they've never beaten in their history, and yet we don't see any panic. We see this team staying poised despite a lot of youth, 7 first-year players for the Royals.
Really, they have nothing to lose, at least if they take a set from Humber. Deacon Poot with the serve, and Deacon Poot telling her player that's just to leave that one, it was out.
And a good job, just veteran awareness by Deacon Poot, third-year player.
Deacon Poot with some great serving in these sets. She'll serve again. That's a little too far.
And a rare service error from the Hawks. They've had a few in this game. Obviously, the Royals have had a lot. Or was it 15?
I believe it's 15,
yeah. That's really set them back.
Jenna Nordstrom now. Nordstra with the serve. Great float there. O'Connor grabs it. That's Blanchette with a great meter ball there to Allie Newman, who kills it.
And Newman set up perfectly. Again, as we take a look, it's really, the play, it looks like it just kind of happens in an air to spike, but a lot of that is kind of preparation beforehand, being in position.
Brianna Golding smashing serve there. And a smash attempt there by Nash. Back set. O'Connor back row attack. And she gets the libero. Ball goes out.
Yeah, just unable to come up with it cleanly was Lowen. And again, backs against the wall here for the Royals. Only 2 points to play with.
Golding serves. Great serve. Neiman sets, and that's Nash that puts that ball out.
And smelling the finish line, I think, are the Hawks. And again, the Royals fighting here to the end, but just too much talent and too much depth from this Hawks team.
As Emma Haney checks in for her first point here, trying to close out the game. Golding, service ace to finish it out.
That's the way to do it. That's kind of the exclamation mark on a really good performance. And we'll look at the score and you'll say, well, 3-0, kind of as expected, but this was a little bit tougher than I think people would have anticipated, Jacob.
Absolutely, Michael, especially in that second set. I thought for a second there that Redeemer might have stolen one from Humber on that second set.
Yeah, again, just too many of their own self-inflicted wounds coming back to haunt them. And, you understand that, a young team that's up against it with a really good opponent. But, hey, all the credit to Redeemer. We saw a good game.
Absolutely, and with that, Humber improves to 15-0, only losing 3 sets in the entire season. With that win, I believe they clinch the division title. On that loss, Redeemer now 6-9. But one stat that I want to focus on: 124 wins in a row for the Humber Hawks.
124, kind of ho-hum. Oh, and now we're just up in triple digits and continuing to climb. 124 consecutive OCAA league and playoff games. An incredible streak that doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon.
Not only that, but head coach Chris Wilkins now improves to 310 victories. With that, now only 2 wins behind his brother Wayne, the men's volleyball coach. But I'm sure Wayne will have something to say as the Humber men face the Redeemer men after this on the Hawk Sports Network.
You think that comes up at family dinners? I would imagine, yeah. Well,
I would absolutely believe that that's the case. Our sideline reporter Danielle Dupuis is preparing for an endgame interview here with Devin O'Connor. Before we start that, any closing thoughts, Michael?
Again, just this is a good test. I think it's a game that they thought they were going to win, but they had to fight for it, the Hawks.
Absolutely, and Michael, with our sideline report, an endgame interview now with Devin O'Connor. Here's Danielle Dupuis. Danielle?
Thanks Thanks, guys. I'm standing here with player number 12, Devin O'Connor. Now, you had a lot of great kills out there, a lot of great serves, but the big question is, we know that the OCAA championships are coming up just a very short period of time. We got to ask, how's the team preparing for that?
I think it's the same thing. I feel you get the same answer all the time. It's just like we take care of ourselves, and it's just a lot of focused preparation. Like, these games are important for OCs, but it allows us to work out our kinks, work out what's going on with our game, and it just helps us focus on like what we need to improve on. But we have a couple weeks left to really just like grind out and work hard every time we come into the gym and every time we practice.
Thanks, Devin. Great game, and we're looking forward to seeing you next game.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Danielle and Devin, for that great interview. As we mentioned, only 4 games left for the Humber Hawks as they approach the OCAA championships at St. Clair College at the end of the month. Michael, thank you so much for joining me during this game.
Oh, this was a good birthday call for you, Jacob.
It was a great birthday call, and with that, we bring this game to a close. As always, we say stay humble, stay Humber. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good night.